Time to look at the bumpers. Here is the old bumper, and they said the part number is obsolete, discontinued. But in our research, we found out the lower control arm is used on the 97 through 2004.
Right.
So the same control arm, it's going to fit in there the same. So we found some for a 2000. Yeah, 2000. But when you look at it, if you can see it, it's on the package, it says Durango front bumper stops. So we're going to take one out. I already cut it open to make it easier to get it out. And in comparing them, they're the same width. The bottom part fits in. The difference is, if we go from the side here, it's a little bit taller. This is flat, and this is a little bit taller. So now what we're going to do is, this should fit in there just fine. Actually, I kind of cheated. I took it out of the package and I started fitting it. Fits in there. Looks like it can fit in just fine. We're going to have a little bit closer, so it's going to hit it a little bit quicker. But you can't go without them. So we're going to go down and we're going to put some epoxy on it to help hold it in because of vibration, because that is going to vibrate. And I'm just afraid that even if it fits in there snug, it will still kind of vibrate out. So we're going to put some epoxy on it just to help hold it in. This other one, you can see it just kind of fell apart and everything else. So if this works, just remember on the 97, you can get
98,
98. On this one is 98. It's going to say it's discontinued, not available. But you know what? That same control arm's used. Worst case, we would cut the top of this off. But I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to put it on there. And if we start having trouble with it hitting all the time, then we'll just come back and we'll just cut it off to the same height. We'll keep this
just in case.
Just in case.
So we can measure.
Yeah, and then we can measure it. So let's go ahead. We're going to stop this. I'm going to set the camera up so we can see what we're doing underneath. Here's the pocket for it. And here's what's starting to slide in there a little bit tight. So that's what we want. Want it to be fairly tight. Doesn't matter which way it goes in. And that should slide down in there. So now the next thing we do is we'll get some epoxy made up. I want to put some epoxy on here just to help hold it in, because the vibration is bouncing up and down. It could vibrate out, but I wouldn't think it would. But you never know. That fits down into there. So it might be a little bit longer on the bottom down here, but it should fit in there just fine. And that will be about this much room up here. Between here's where it hits and here's where the bumper is. So we'll put this in and we'll see how it goes. All right, we got mixed up a 2-part epoxy. Got it mixed up. It's a 5-minute epoxy, so we don't have a whole lot of time to work with it. But I'm going to put some on around the outside of here.
Put some on the bottom too.
Yep. I'll put a little bit on the bottom. Get that around there. By the time I get this one on, there's probably not going to be much left of the time for it, so I may not be able to get the second one on with this batch. But we're going to see what this does now. Get this in here. We got to go down quite a bit with that. But I don't know if it's going to fit. It might be a little bit too long. But that should be the right part. Yeah, that's not fitting in there like it should. I think it's bottomed out. Yeah.
A little taller than the other one?
Yeah, a little taller. I need to cut this bottom ridge off a little bit. we had to trim that down. I ended up trimming this one a little bit too much, so we're going to put a little more epoxy in that one. This is how I should have trimmed it up, just a little bit off the side, trim that bottom off a little bit, because I did try it in the other one. It fits in there perfectly. So we're going to put some more epoxy on this one. And I got a whole bunch mixed up here. So we're going to put it on there, and if it squeezes out, that's quite all right. I'll put some on the bottom. We had another set of some other epoxy, and it had been opened up and partially used, and then it ended up getting dry and hard. And this is a mixing tube that goes on. It's supposed to mix it as you put it in, but it didn't work, so I'm using it as a stir stick. So I'm going to put this in here and get it all the way down. Now I need, it's a 5-minute epoxy. I don't know if I really want to hold it this long, but let's see if it's squeezing up. So we'll just hold it here a little bit. Well, it's in here. I think that's going to work just fine. We got a couple inches there of travel. So now let's go over and do the other side. All right, on to the passenger side. We have some more epoxy mixed up. And I'm going to spread this on here. Of course, I dropped it. Clean the rock off. We're going to slide this in all the way down. I'm going to hold this one for a little bit, like I did the other one.
Is this the right size? The folder? I wondered.
No,
Too big.
I actually got more room on this side than I do on the other side.
Oh, shit.
It could just be too because the wheels turn one way and the others turn the other way.
Maybe.
So we'll hold this a little bit here, and then they'll be all done. We're all set.